The Siege of Port Arthur, a turning point in the conflict. Title: The Siege of Port Arthur, a turning point in the conflict. Introduction, 100 words. The Siege of Port Arthur, which took place from 1904 to 1905, was a critical event during the Russo-Japanese War. This historic battle marked a turning point in the conflict and had far-reaching consequences on both a military and diplomatic scale. The outcome of the siege not only demonstrated the growing strength and military capabilities of Japan but also revealed the vulnerabilities of this mighty Russian Empire. Background of the conflict, 200 words. To understand the significance of the Siege of Port Arthur, it is essential to examine the broader Russo-Japanese War. The conflict arose as a result of territorial ambitions and economic interests in East Asia, particularly regarding control over Korea and Manchuria. Russia was seeking to establish a warm water port in the region, while Japan aimed to protect its newly acquired interests on the Korean Peninsula. Tensions between the two powers escalated, leading to open warfare in 1904. 2. The Siege, a clash of strategies, 500 words. Initial Russian defenses. When the Japanese launched their assault on Port Arthur on February 8, 1904, the Russian defenses appeared formidable. The city was fortified with a series of redoubts, forts, and heavy artillery, making it a challenging target for any attacker. The Russian military believed the fortress was impregnable, leading them to adopt a defensive strategy. However, this confidence would soon be shattered. B. Japanese determination and bold tactics. The Japanese, under the command of General Nogi Marizuke, possessed unwavering determination to capture Port Arthur. Their strategy was based on aggressive assaults, combined with a meticulous campaign of trench warfare. The Japanese forces made calculated advances, targeting specific locations and gradually isolating the Russian defenders. C. Submarine mine-laying and innovative technologies. One of the notable elements of the siege was the use of submarines by the Japanese. This deployment played a significant role in undermining the Russian naval defenses. The Japanese submarine successfully laid mines that restricted the movement of Russian battleships, ultimately leading to their gradual depletion. 3. Challenges and losses, 400 words. Brutal conditions. The Siege of Port Arthur was not only a battle between armies but also a test of endurance in harsh conditions. Both sides faced extreme weather, sickness, and scarcity of supplies. The Russian defenders, however, were at a disadvantage due to inadequate preparation, which left them ill-equipped to withstand prolonged warfare. B. Heavy losses. The siege resulted in heavy casualties for both the defending Russians and the attacking Japanese forces. The trenches surrounding the city were bloody battlegrounds, witnessing numerous hand-to-hand combat encounters. The Russians suffered from a lack of supplies and reinforcement, further exacerbating their losses. 4. The Fall of Port Arthur, 400 words. Russian surrender. Despite their initial strength, the Russian forces defending Port Arthur found themselves gradually losing ground. On January 2, 1905, they surrendered to the Japanese, marking a decisive victory for General Nogi and his troops. The fall of Port Arthur dealt a significant blow to Russian morale and revealed the vulnerabilities of the once dominant Russian Empire. B. Significance and implications. The fall of Port Arthur had profound consequences for both the Russo-Japanese War and global geopolitics. It demonstrated Japan's military prowess and its emergence as a rising power in East Asia. And while Russia's defeat led to widespread domestic unrest and contributed to the 1905 Russian Revolution that weakened the autocratic regime of Tsar Nicholas II. B. Aftermath and Legacy, 400 words. A. This treaty further solidified Japan's status as a major power in the region and cemented its influence over East Asia. B. Modern warfare and lessons learned. The Siege of Port Arthur was a significant milestone in the development of modern warfare strategies. The Japanese demonstrated the effectiveness of trench warfare, coordinated assaults, and the application of innovative technologies such as submarines. These lessons learned from the siege would later influence military tactics in subsequent conflicts, especially in World War I. C. Port Arthur today. The legacy of the siege can still be felt today in the city of Port Arthur, now known as Lushenkou, in northeastern China. The battle and its aftermath left a lasting impact on the city, with history. Sites commemorating the events and attracting visitors interested in the history of the Russo-Japanese War. Port Arthur serves as a reminder of the bravery and sacrifices made by both sides during this pivotal conflict. By conclusion, 100 words. The Siege of Port Arthur stands as a turning point in the Russo-Japanese War, with far-reaching consequences that shaped the course of history. It showcased the growing power of Japan and the vulnerabilities of the Russian Empire, leading to significant geopolitical shifts in East Asia. The intense battle highlighted the importance of tactical innovations and endurance in warfare. The fall of Port Arthur not only marked a decisive victory for Japan but also contributed to the decline of the Russian Empire and reshaped the global balance of power. The siege remains a significant event in military history and a testament to the indomitable spirit of those involved. 7. Impact on East Asian relations, 400 words. A. Rise of Japan as a global power. The Siege of Port Arthur solidified Japan's position as a rising global power. The victory showcased Japan's military capabilities and strategic acumen, boosting its international standing and influencing its future ambitions. B. Shift in power dynamics. The fall of Port Arthur and Japan's subsequent victory in the Russo-Japanese War shifted the power dynamics in East Asia. Russia, once seen as a dominant force in the region, suffered a humiliating defeat, while Japan emerged as a formidable competitor. This shift not only impacted the balance of power between these two nations but also influenced the attitudes and strategies of other East Asian countries towards Russia and Japan. C. Effects on China. The Siege of Port Arthur had significant implications for China, as the conflict took place on Chinese soil. The battle revealed China's weakness and inability to protect its own territories, leading to further encroachments by foreign powers. The defeat of Russia and the rise of Japan highlighted the need for China to modernize its military and assert its sovereignty, sparking movements for